Yeah, well, it is a coordinated effort. The city has a few tools in its handbag, so to speak, to entice or incentivize private development in the downtown. Plus, we also utilize different funding sources that we have available to us to help with public infrastructure, and then potentially maybe matching grants and so forth for the private developers to actually put money into downtown. Specifically, we've utilized the 4B sales tax money over the last 10-15 years to do a lot of things in the downtown area, specifically the infrastructure areas. We're still working on the wayfinding signage project, and that needs to be developed and completed for our downtown pedestrian areas. We have our tax increment financing zone that was reestablished. We utilized the first tax increment financing zone back in the late 1980s to the 2000 time frame. We have to have ordinances to make sure that those developments are safe for the public to use and convenient, and that they allow for pedestrian thoroughfares so that we don't have difficulties and congestion and so forth like that. We've also adopted recently an outdoor seating and dining ordinance that outlines the standardization or the rules and regulations for principally dining outdoors. All of the sidewalks and areas downtown are in the public right-of-way, so we have to have rules and regulations to basically do two things: try to encourage them to provide outdoor dining, while at the same time maintaining safety for pedestrians and a good walking area for disabilities. We're talking about 50 to 100-year-old buildings that haven't been maintained up to codes and standards, and so it's difficult for the private sector to come in and make all of those adjustments to facilities just to establish a business. So with the partnership or with the matching grant funds, it just takes a little bit of pressure off of the private sector and encourages them to put their money into the downtown area, where otherwise they might have chosen a less difficult area to develop. The codes and that were in place when some of these buildings were constructed are not as safe as what we would like them to be in today's standards and what the public would expect. So our codes require fire suppression systems, Americans with Disabilities Acts to require, accessibilities that weren't required when the facilities were constructed. So those are obstacles that have to be addressed when anybody's coming in to try to retrofit an older building. Your downtown in any city is kind of the core image of the community. And anything that we can do to improve the image of Wichita Falls will have multiplier type effects.
We have quite a demand for our units downtown. We are typically 100% full. As soon as they come vacant, they do rent. Sometimes they pre-lease before they even become vacant. With the Holt, it's 100% right now. Travis is 100%. I have one vacancy at the Austin School and one here, and those just came open. So there is a huge demand. I'm hoping eventually we'll have a little Sundance Square down here. We'll have an ice cream parlor, and we need a little grocery store, and I think someone's looking at putting that in the works. And so there are some more restaurants coming in, so we'll know they'll be open after hours. And what's really unique about our downtown properties, our residential units, is they're not your typical cookie cutter apartment. Every apartment has its unique little feature. So like at Austin School, you have exposed brick. And then here you have lots of large windows. You got tall ceilings at the Holt. I mean, it's just unique. Every building is unique and it's just different. The more interest that we have in downtown, such as the Yard, they're staying open later, providing some entertainment to the community. To me, that's a plus. I'm excited about another restaurant that's going to be opening up downtown as well. The more residents we have downtown, the more demand that's going to happen and the more interest that's going to happen downtown. So it's going to grow more.